What does it mean to be a special grade sorcerer? What would you need to become one, and who would qualify? Well, the list I'm about to give you might surprise you. What's up guys, Restless Gambry here, and today I decided it was time for a Jujutsu Kaisen video. And what better way to make a video on it than to rank my favorite character. All jokes aside though, in this video I want to discuss what it would take to become a special grade sorcerer and who all will qualify. With that said, make sure to like, subscribe, and watch until the end. To preface this video, I want to clear up a common misconception. When it comes to the power scaling community in Jujutsu Kaisen, the term special grade level gets thrown around a lot. I would just like to make it known that this term only refers to characters who scale to special grade sorcerers, not characters who should be special grade sorcerers in the show. So to give an example, Hakari was stated to be stronger than Yuta when he's on the roll. By default, this would make him special grade level, but as we all know, he isn't a special grade sorcerer, and this is because of the requirements we were given as of the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. But in other cases, it's just a term for a tier of strength above grade 1. A good example of this is how this guy put Noye in the tier high-end special grade even though he's known as a supreme grade 1. So in this video, I want to not only go over who should be deemed as a special grade sorcerer, but also go over characters who would scale to special grade level. In chapter 203 of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, Kenjaku states to Choso that what it means to be a special grade sorcerer is to be able to overthrow a country single-handedly. He then uses Geto as his main source of evidence, as Gojo can canonically eradicate all life on Earth in his early years of Jujutsu High. But what makes this relevant is that the reason Geto is a special grade sorcerer is because he can create an army with his curse technique. Furthermore, this is backed up in an earlier chapter, 147. In this chapter, it is stated that Principal Yaga is in the works of becoming a special grade sorcerer. This was because of his curse technique, which creates self-sustaining dolls, and this gave him the potential to create an army. I mean, just imagine an army of pandas. An army combating another army would make sense to become a special grade sorcerer, but why would Yuta be a special grade sorcerer? Personally, I think it has to do with his curse energy output and curse speech. If you're going against an army, an attack that affects an area is very valuable. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it's only second to having another army. So to outline it, we've got Geto and Yaga who can make their own self-sustaining armies, easily being able to dismantle an army of regular humans. Then there's Gojo with his curse technique Reversal Red and Hollow technique Purple. Purple being able to erase anything in his path, and Yuta with his curse speech and curse energy output with Rika. This is what it would take to be a special grade sorcerer in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, who would qualify to be deemed a special grade sorcerer in the show? For my first pick, I have Mechamaru. No, not that Mechamaru. This Mechamaru. This is the Mechamaru after he was healed by Mahito. Mechamaru was born with a heavy restriction and reverse of Toji and Maki, born with a crippled body but given an insane curse energy output in return. His curse energy output was so insane that puppet manipulation, his curse technique, reaches the entire nation of Japan. I think this character will be a special grade sorcerer had he just run away from Mahito. Mechamaru checks all the boxes for a special grade sorcerer in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, not only because of his access to an army of puppets on his own, but his curse energy output, which he shoots out multiple times on par with special grade curses. I mean, imagine a bunch of Mechamarus and an ultimate Mechamaru versus an army of regular humans. They don't stand a chance. Another character that I think would be deemed a special grade sorcerer would be Ryu Ishigori. Ryu is a recently introduced Jujutsu sorcerer. The reason I picked Ryu of all people is Kenjaku's statement about his curse energy output being the greatest in history, describing him as a canon. In the context of this statement, Kenjaku's taken into consideration Ryomen's Sukuna. Yeah, that Sukuna. And remember earlier when I was hyping up Yuta's curse energy output with Rika, well, Ishigori's is higher than that. So while Ishigori does not have an army at his disposal, his AoE attacks are top-notch. Even while having higher curse energy output than Yuta and Sukuna, he can tank his own cursed energy outputs. So with all this Ishigori wanking aside, we can all agree that Ishigori would have been a special grade sorcerer. Coming in as my third pick, this is not too much of a surprise. The character I chose was Ryomen Sukuna. Obviously, I'm not talking about Sukuna right now as he's a special grade cursed object, but I'm talking about Sukuna when he was alive. I mean, full power Sukuna is kind of crazy if you actually think about it. Let's just go over the abilities that 15 Finger Sukuna has. So far we know he can use 3 things. Slash up things with cleave and dismantle, and use fire attacks. Sukuna's dismantle attack is for anything inanimate, so anything not living and people with no cursed energy. And on the other hand, his attack cleave is for anything with cursed energy, so cursed spirits and normal Jujutsu sorcerers. And on top of that, he has fire abilities that overpower Jogo. The crazy thing is, we do not know his curse technique. Remember, this is 15 finger Sukuna. At full power, Sukuna could have even more abilities. But this is only going over his curse technique. What puts him over the top is his domain expansion. This entire video I was talking about AoE attacks, and this is the definition of an AoE attack. Sukuna's domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine, is crazy. By far the most crazy part of it is that it has no barrier, and in return for having no barrier, the guaranteed hit effect has a radius of 200 meters. And on top of having this crazy domain expansion, in chapter 119, he uses his curse technique right after it. Sukuna does not even need an army at his disposal. His AoE attacks are the best in the verse. This is why I thought it was obvious. I don't think there's a single way Sukuna cannot overthrow a country in this day and age. With all the special grade sorcerer candidates out of the way, let's get into the good stuff. Special grade level. Let's start with some obvious people. Hakari is special grade level. I don't think that's too contentious. He's at least relative to Yuta, as he's mentioned on the same pedestal as him, not once, not twice, but 4 times throughout the series. And Yuta's a special grade sorcerer, so we're good on that? Okay, let's continue. Next up we have full power Sukuna. It's not really too much of a debate. I mean, Gojo himself, the strongest special grade, said he would have trouble dealing with him. Let's not waste our time on that. Moving away from characters who are clearly special grade level from narrative implications, I have Kashimo. Being a sorcerer of old age, his power in battle is nothing to laugh at. He has shown clear relativity to Hakari in his jackpot form, the form that most people think puts him at special grade level. Kashimo's battle IQ was so crazy that he was able to almost kill Hakari right after his jackpot ran out. Only bad thing about it was he was fighting Hakari. All jokes aside, Kashimo's skills relative to Jackpot Hakari, who should be above Yuta in strength. Next character I have, or characters, are Toji and Maki, 2 physically gifted heavenly restriction sorcerers. As I said earlier in the video, special grade level in the Jujutsu Kaisen community refers to a tier of strength significantly above grade 1. Again, going back to the original tier list example, we have 3 grade 1 sorcerers at play here. We have Nanami, Todo, and Noye. Even though they are all grade 1 sorcerers, he puts Nanami in grade 1 tier, Todo in supreme grade 1, and Noye in high-end special grade. This is because he believes Noye is just that much stronger than someone like Nanami or Todo. But because he isn't a special grade sorcerer in the show, they use special grade as a tier above what grade 1 should represent. And while using this logic, I can easily put Toji and Maki at special grade level. On top of the knowledge that Toji absolutely demolished Team Gojo before his awakening and Team Geto, who was really close to special grade sorcerers, we can take this specific statement by a Zenin that the Zenin clan only exists because of Toji's whims. This means that any time, Toji could have annihilated the Zenin clan if he wanted to, just like Maki did. But what makes this even more crazy is that the version of the Zenin clan that Toji was stated to be able to annihilate had Naobito Zenin. If we're talking about a gap between grade 1 and the ones above it, this guy is the pinnacle of that. Him with 2 arms is absolutely the strongest specifically stated first grade sorcerer in the show. At least in my opinion, I'm kinda biased. But the complete annihilation of the Zenin clan means he has to go against characters like Naobito, special grade 1 sorcerers, and other grade 1 sorcerers on top of that. If this doesn't put him and Maki above grade 1 sorcerers by a significant margin, I don't know what does. This one shouldn't be too much of a surprise. It's Ryu Ishigori. Even while having one of the highest curse energy outputs in the series, his hand-to-hand combat isn't something to sleep on either. He was throwing hands with Yuta, and Yuta stated that he would even get hurt if he doesn't put up proper defense. Along with exchanging blows with Yuta, he can get hit directly and tank it. His base curse energy output hurts full power Rika, and he could one-shot her right after the 5 minutes. I think that the funny thing is, the only thing that can defeat him is his own attack. With clear scaling to Yuta, I think it's safe to assume that he's special grade level. All in all, special grade sorcerers are the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery. And what I love about the series so much is that something set in stone like special grade can still be debated on. I mean, who would have thought that Mechamaru, such a minor character, would have qualified to be a special grade sorcerer in the show? If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.